Hello, this is Shawn Dostie, Auctioneer out of Coshocton, Ohio, your National Auctioneer Association professional auctioneer. You might say, what does that mean to me, and why do I want to hire an NAA Pro, or what exactly is that, and isn't cheapest the best? Well, let me explain to you. I am not your grandfather's auctioneer. Times have changed, and there are a lot of people that love the auction industry and are very good auctioneers and have very proficient bid calls. They have full-time jobs and they auctioneer on the weekend. I'm a little bit different. I went and I got my education from some world-class auctioneers and have availed myself of a lot of education and use cutting edge technology. Used to be what the auctioneer would do is you put a sign in the yard, put an ad in the paper, people would come and they'd come and take your worldly belongings, possessions, your memories, and buy them for pennies on the dollar. But did you know that a lot of auctions set world records? I have a friend in St. Louis that has set, I think, 8 or 9 comic book records. I have friends that have taken properties that have been listed for over a year or over 2 years, and they've put it through the accelerated marketing process or the auction method and brought more money. Yeah, it's a funny thing. I was in Chester, West Virginia last year, and this estate had been contested by the people for almost 4 years, and there's a van that was sitting there, had a for sale sign on it for 4 years for $10,000. We went and we did the auction method, and in with the real estate and with the tools and other stuff, we sold the car. It actually brought more money at auction than it did sitting there for 4 years. Well, obviously it didn't sell. It brought almost $1,000 more through the auction method. So, folks, auctions do work. I want to explain to you the differences between some of the auctions that we do. Specifically, we do the live auction. We also do online only auctions. And then we do what is a hybrid, and you'll hear that called a simulcast or a webcast, or there's many other different names for it. But basically, it is a live auction with an online aspect. Why do a live auction? Why do an online auction? A live auction is very simple. It's been happening for thousands of years. People gather around that have an interest in a specific asset. The auctioneer stands up there and calls for a bid, and then he calls for an advance on that bid. And then he or she calls for more advances until no more interest is shown in that item, and the last buyer or the last bidder wins that item. An online auction with the advent of the internet is a little bit different. One thing about traveling to a live auction is you have to plan. You have to travel to it. You have to stand around and wait for the item to come up, and sometimes there's 500 items, sometimes there's 1,000 items. Sometimes there's 1,500 items, and you might wait for 12 hours for the specific item that you want. Yeah, and you're going to pick up other items along the way, and there are plans for that. But basically, you're giving up a day, and you're traveling, and you got to load everything up and take it up. An online auction, you can look and see what time the auction is. You can plan around it. You can sit in your hot tub on your smartphone. You can sit in your living room. You can be cooking dinner. You can be watching the kids. You can be at a softball game. You can be anywhere and still buy online. People love to buy online. And the nice thing is there's no pressure. You determine what you're going to pay for the asset, whether it's a piece of real estate, whether it's an investment property, whether it's a Fabergé egg, whether it's a toaster. It can be any of the items. As a matter of fact, if you look, this watch right here, I bought it at auction. These cufflinks, I bought them at auction. Believe it or not, the suit that I'm wearing came from an auction, and so did the tie. This chair that I'm sitting in, this table beside me, my glass of water. Now, I filled the glass from the tap, but I bought the glass at auction. Ladies and gentlemen, auctions do work. Now, depending upon the assets that you have, there's the hybrid auction as well. The hybrid auction is a live auction with an online asset. Typically, what we do is we take the best assets that you have. It might be 50, 75, it might be 200, depending on the scope of the project. We take the higher line assets and we put them online. And then as the auctioneer is calling, the live bidders can bid, the online bidders can bid at the same time, getting the seller the best price. As an example, and I will show some other auction things later and in different areas that show that where the auction process has been so successful. A lot of people think that auctions are a method of last resort. I can tell you, I sold 2 weeks ago, I sold a 42-inch riding lawnmower. It brought $500 on an online auction, and I've bought at live auctions. I've bought tractors. I've bought them for less. We sold a John Deere. It was a 2010 model last weekend. Sold it at live auction, and by golly, it brought $1,050. So it was strong. The auction method works. My name is Shawn J. Dostie, auctioneer, hailing out of Coshocton, Ohio. Give me a call, 800-855-BID and WIN, or 740-502-1017. Thank you, and we'll see you at the auction.